thing that goes in the walk every single time. I wear that thing minimum once a week.
Okay, and that's what you're waiting for October, for the polar bear to come out of his hibernation and do some big things.
Well, the shirt's not in hibernation, I'll tell you that much. He's in heavy rotation. Everyone in action on Tuesday after a soggy Monday in Florida, washed out most of the games. But 30 days, Dan, we are 30 days away from opening day. And DJ Dan, I want you to hit me with your top storylines in the next 30 days.
Okay, we're going to start with number 5.
Okay.
I think we have so many big-name pitchers coming back from injuries. That guy at the top of the list, Jacob deGrom, when he's healthy, in my opinion, he's the best pitcher in the game. We just talked about Sandy Alcantara. This guy has Cy Young potential. You have Spencer Strider coming back with the Braves. Huge K per 9 innings. That's number 5. Number 4, Nolan Arenado. What is his future with the Cardinals? I still feel I'll be surprised he's on the Cardinals roster on opening day. It seems like they're trying to re-engage, get some activity, and to get some other teams interested in acquiring the future Hall of Famer at third base. Number 3 for me is Mike Trout. The move from center field to right field. Kind of like we talked about yesterday about DeGrom and Scherzer and Verlander. Kind of gone but forgotten injuries. We've forgotten how good this guy can be. And I assume if he's healthy, he'll be good again this year. I expect a big bounce back year. Number 2 for me, Juan Soto. $700 million plus contract. His first at bat, he hits a home run for the Mets in Port St. Lucie. He's going to change the way everyone looks at the Mets. If he brings to the Mets what he brought to the Yankees, expect the Mets to be playing in the month of October. And to me, it's all about the return to the mound of Shohei Ohtani. We've talked about Yamamoto, Sasaki, all the Japanese pitchers that have come here. But I thought before he arrived, before he signed with the Angels, he was the most talented, the most imposing pitcher that I had seen on tape from Japan. I hope we get a glimpse to see that guy again.
You know what? I'm sitting back here and I'm smiling because, like, they don't even really need him to pitch.
They don't.
Like, is that not insane?
It is.
But, I mean, I will say this. Where do you think that Arenado goes? Do you have any inclination that what would be the best fit for him?
My gut is telling me that he's going to eventually end up with the Houston Astros when it's all said and done. I think that's where it's going to be. I have no inside information, but to me, that's kind of where all the pegs fit.
Juan Soto, by the way, you know how he did his introductory press conference, and then he had his press conference out at spring training when he first arrived on the scene. Somebody asked him in Spanish if, you know, what his first big purchase is with that contract. He hasn't bought anything.
Really?
He hasn't bought anything.
I thought you were going to say anything I want.
No, he really could buy anything he wants. But somebody was like, are you not working with a real estate agent? He's like, no, we're figuring it out.
Yeah, he's not worried about finding a place in the big city right now, is he?
No.
No. He's shopping in a different area than you and I shop at.
He's been shopping in a different area than you and I shop at. Meanwhile, here's another sign. Opening day is just around the corner. MLB Network's 30 clubs in 15 days coverage is set to get underway on Wednesday. Roflo and Cliff Floyd will be at Nationals camp, while Greg Amsinger and Yonder Alonso will have everything covered with the Dodgers. And speaking of the defending World Series champs, here is the Mariners and Dodgers. Blake Snell making his Dodgers debut. First time in Dodger blue. He strikes out Julio Rodriguez swinging, so that is his first strikeout as a Dodger. Later in the inning, Snell going against Mitch Garver. He gets Garver to ground out, so he goes 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 strikeout. Top of the second, now 2-1 Seattle. Rodriguez up. J-Rod, a 2-run double to right center. They need to start the season with him hot.
I agree with you. Last night you said on the show he needs to get off to a good start. I couldn't agree with you more. To me, he's the key for the Mariners.
Bottom of the second, Luis Castillo. He was making his spring debut. Does he get the opening day nod?
I don't think he gets the opening day nod. They have such a great stable of good, young starting pitching that, listen, it's not a bad thing if you don't make the opening day start for the Mariners. Other than the Dodgers, top to bottom, the best rotation in the game.
Castillo, by the way, went 1 2/3 scoreless, and that would be Garver hitting a solo shot. That is his first homer of the spring. Mariners extend the lead 5-1 and would go on to win 11-5. So Blake Snell signed for 5 years, $182 million. According to my sources, the Dodgers are getting Snell at just the right time. And Dan, You're my source. Explain why, and also, why are you leaking info to someone with such a big mouth?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is what I like about it. I think last year we had him on MLB Tonight after one of his really good starts, and he said something that to me was so profound, and I haven't forgotten it, Sierra. He's done trying to be what people want him to be. He's never going to be Tom Glavine. He's never going to go out there consistently and throw 7, 8 innings and throw 8 pitches per night. There's going to be some spraying around a little bit. He's going to have an inning like he had today, 30 pitches, 20 for strikes, but he has the ability, swing and miss with 3 different pitches. The Dodgers are getting a finished product. He's proven he can pitch on the big stage. And if you don't believe me, ask the Dodgers, because I don't know what would have happened if the Rays wouldn't have taken him out of that game that was the eventual clincher for the Dodgers during the pandemic season when the World Series was in Arlington. He is a front-of-the-line starter. I thought last year, listen, it's easy for us to sit back and say, hey, why didn't you sign early? He was waiting for the right offer. He missed most of spring training, tried to do that accelerated spring training in a couple of weeks with the Giants. It didn't work. His feet fell underneath him probably around the middle of June last year, and I don't blame him. For the month of September, he decided to skip a few starts, parlay that into a great deal. One of the top 5 starting left-handed pitchers in the game without question.
Do you think come, let's say mid-season, are we talking about Snell being in the Cy Young conversation?
Yes. I think if you would ask me right now, the 2 guys that jump out to me, NL Cy Young favorite, Corbin Burnes, Blake Snell. I think Burnes is going to be terrific for the D-backs.
One of my friends, Dan, they sent me this video as soon as it hit Instagram. I want you to take a look. It is Roki Sasaki going in his first sim game. The first batter he faces is Kyle Teal. He gives up a home run. This really doesn't mean much, okay? But what do you think the adjustment period is going to be like for Sasaki?
Listen, it's a culture adjustment going from Japan, a different kind of baseball style, a new spring training, a new team. What I'd like what the Dodgers did, I'm not going to say I love what they did. They had him throw on a backfield. Right now, get some of the attention away from him. We are so stuck on numbers, and we're going to talk about Max Scherzer later on. How was his velo? What was the break on his breaking ball? You have a young pitcher. Let him go to a backfield. Let him face hitters. Let him ease into it so you don't have to worry about picking apart and grading every single thing that he does. First hitter he faced, he gave up a home run. But if you're the Dodgers, that is the least care in your world. You want to see a guy that's healthy. You want to see the guy that feels more comfortable with his new team in a new country. That's what you're worried about.
No, it doesn't matter, but it was on the second pitch.
It was. I knew you were going.
Let's keep the grapefruit highlights going, and we are going to...
MLB の新シーズンが近づくにつれ、各チームのスプリングトレーニングが本格化し、選手たちの動向が注目されている。開幕まであと30日。この期間は、新戦力の適応、若手の台頭、そしてベテラン選手たちのコンディション調整など、シーズンに向けた準備が着々と進められる重要な時期だ。今年は例年以上に注目すべき話題が多く、多くのファンが期待と興奮に包まれている。まず、今シーズン最も注目される移籍の一つがブレイク、スネルのロサンゼルス、ドジャース加入だ。昨シーズン、サンディエゴ、パドレスでヤング賞を受賞したスネルは、今やリーグを代表する左腕としての地位を確立している。彼の移籍はドジャースにとって大きな補強となり、すでに強力な投手陣をさらに盤石なものにすることが期待されている。スプリングトレーニングでの初登板では、1イニングを投げ、被安打1、無失点、1奪三振という結果を残した。決して派手な内容ではないが、これからの調整を考えればまずまずの滑り出しと言える。彼の特徴は、高い奪三振能力と強気のピッチングスタイルにあり、シーズンが進むにつれて本領を発揮するだろう。すでにヤング賞の有力候補として名前が挙がっており、新天地でどれだけの成績を残せるのか、多くのファンが注目している。次に、大谷翔平の復帰が今シーズンの最大の話題の一つとなっている。彼は今シーズン、投手としての登板はないものの、打者としてフルシーズンを戦うことになる。昨シーズンは MVP を獲得し、圧倒的なパフォーマンスを見せたが、今年は新たな環境でどれほどの影響を与えられるのかが焦点となる。ドジャースは彼の投球能力を必要としていないと言われているが、それでも彼がマウンドに戻る日を心待ちにしているファンは多い。現在はリハビリを続けながら打撃に専念しているが、今後のリハビリの進捗によっては、2025年シーズンに向けて投手としての復帰も視野に入るだろう。 彼の存在はチームにとってもリーグ全体にとっても計り知れない影響を持つ。新天地での彼の活躍がどのようなものになるのか、多くの人が期待している。不安。外のニューヨークメッツ移籍も今シーズンの注目ポイントの一つだ。700億円以上の巨額契約を結び、新たな環境での挑戦をスタートさせた彼だが、驚くべきことにまだ大きな買い物をしていないという。彼の契約額を考えれば高級マンションや豪華な車を購入することも容易だが、彼は慎重に生活を進めているようだ。だが彼に求められるのはその契約に見合う活躍であり、メッツファンの期待は大きい。スプリングトレーニングではすでにホームランを放ち、その実力を証明しているが、シーズンが始まってからの継続的な成績が鍵となる。メッツは長らくポストシーズン進出に苦しんでおり、外の加入によってチームがどこまで変わるのか興味深いポイントとなる。佐々木朗まれの MLB 挑戦も注目されている。彼のシミュレーションゲーム初登板では最初の打者にホームランを打たれるという結果になったが、これが彼の実力を測る指標にはならない。重要なのは新しい環境に適応することと長期的な視点で成長することだ。ドジャースは彼をじらせることなくじっくりと育成する方針をとっている。日本のプロ野球とは異なる環境の中でどのように進化していくのか、その過程を見守るのは今シーズンの大きな楽しみの一つだ。そしてカーディナルスのノーランアレなどの去就も話題となっている。彼が開幕時点でカーディナルスにいるのかどうか、多くの憶測が飛び交っている。チームの再建が進む中でアレなどのトレードは避けられない選択肢と見られており、その行き先としてヒューストン、アストロズが有力視されている。確定的な情報はないものの、彼の動向は今後のリーグの勢力図に影響を与える可能性が高い。今シーズンの MLB はこれらの注目選手の活躍に加えてさまざまなドラマが待ち受けている。ベテラン投手たちの復帰、新たなスター選手の誕生、チームの再編、そしてポストシーズンへ向けた熾烈な戦い。それぞれの選手がどのような道を歩んでいくのか、その行方を見守ることができるのは野球ファンにとって最高の楽しみだ。 MLB の新シーズンはすでに始まっている。スプリングトレーニングの段階から選手たちは本気で競争し、ポジションを勝ち取るために全力を尽くしている。ここから先どんなドラマが生まれるのか、どんな選手がシーズンの主役になるのか。開幕までの30日間、ファンにとっては待ち遠しい時間が続くことだろう。あなたが最も注目しているのはどの選手だろうか。大谷翔平の復帰か、それともスネルの活躍か、あるいは外の新天地での挑戦に期待しているのか。今シーズンの見どころは尽きない。今後も最新の MLB ニュース、試合のハイライト、選手たちの舞台裏に迫る情報をお届けしていく。次回の更新を楽しみにしてほしい。